Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been a bit since I have done one of these videos and I've kind of missed them, but here we are. I like to do these missing videos to basically get the word out about these missing children. I try to pick ones that, are a little bit older, may have gone cold a little bit, maybe hasn't been in the public eye so much, but it's getting difficult to find those because of other, YouTubers and a lot of other crime shows. We as a generation are invested in crimes, unfortunately. I guess that's a good thing. We have more couch detectives and hopefully you can find answers on some of these, but I like to do older cases and I prefer ones that don't really involve family and the parents. And let me tell you, it is disheartening how much I realized how many people, how many parents are involved in the disappearance of their children. But not this case, that I'm aware of anyway. I just wanted to do this case. I don't want to get involved in any family drama or anything like that. So I picked this case particularly because the parents seem innocent. And I will give my disclaimer as always. I do not know anyone in the family. I do not have any insight, any behind the scenes knowledge, anything. I just take all the research that I find online and put it into one video and bring it to you just so hopefully we can all come together, get this story back out into the public, and someone can come forward with answers. I do not contact the family because I do not want to bring up any memories or any kind of feelings for the family, so I don't contact them. I strictly stay on the articles online. If there's information in these articles that are incorrect, I will therefore have incorrect information. So if you know something different, feel free to let me know down below. That way we can get the correct information out. Here we are. Today's video is on Cherrie and Mahan. And I hope I'm saying all these right. And again, with the names and with the location, I am not from these areas, so I may mispronounce them incorrectly. So I do apologize in advance for that, but I will try my hardest. She was born in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania on August the 14th, 1976 to Janice Mahan. Now, Janice Mahan was at the time 16 years old when she gave birth to Cherrie. She was so young when she gave birth to Cherrie, so they kind of grew up together. They were always together. She was her life. Cherrie was Janice's life, which very understandable and sounds like a good mother there. Now, Cherrie was known to be a very talkative child in school. She had just gotten her seat moved to the front of the class to try to prevent her from talking to her other classmates. Sometime after Cherrie was born, Janice marries a Vietnam veteran named Leroy McKinney. He becomes a loving, dutiful stepfather to Cherrie, and he raised her like his own. In late 1984, the McKinney family moved to Corn Planter Road in Pennsylvania. It was in Butler County, where Cherrie attended Winfield Elementary School. The morning of February 22nd, 1985. It was like any normal day, just as all these stories start out. Nothing out of place, all seems normal, just going about your normal routine. And 8-year-old Cherrie this day was very excited because after school, she had a play date set up that she was going to go on with one of her friends. So she was really excited for after school. This is the morning, they're getting ready, going to school. And just as every morning, Janice, Cherrie's mother, walks her to the bus stop at the end of the drive. They bid their farewell and tell each other they love them. And unfortunately, that was the last time that Janice talked to or seen her daughter. So fast forward throughout the school day, and Cherrie is seen getting off the school bus with 3 other students, which were believed to be her friends, 3 friends of hers, at the bus stop right below her house, so right at the end of the drive of her house. And it was approximately 4:05 or 4:10 in the evening after school. She was about 150 yards from the foot of her dirt driveway that went up to her home on Corn Planter Road in rural Winfield Township, Pennsylvania. The 3 kids that get off with her, like I said, I do believe, or is believed to be her friends. One of the parents of the 3 kids, or maybe all 3 of the kids, belong to this one parent, but they were waiting at the bus stop to pick up their kids. So sometimes, I don't know how it is in areas, but whenever you have a long driveway or a singular drop-off bus stop, you pick up your kids from the bus and you take them to your house, basically. Sometimes it's a little bit long way, sometimes it's not. But either way, one of the parents of the children was there to pick up their child, one of the 3 children that got off the bus with Cherrie. So her name is Debbie Burke. The investigators did speak with this parent and the children, and they all saw a bright blue or green around 1976 Dodge van in the area that the bus was. It had been following the bus previously. It had a painting of a snowy mountain top and a skier that was going down the mountain. The skier had a red and yellow clothing on and was just going down the mountain. Cherrie was last seen walking by this van and around the corner to go up the driveway to her home. So she's at the foot of the drive to her house, and that's the last time she was seen. Debbie Burke and her children were the last people to see Cherrie. During this time, her stepfather, Leroy, heard the bus and basically said, I'm going to go and pick her up or walk her back to the house up the drive. But her mother says, no, it's okay. It's a really nice day out today. Maybe just let her walk this time. And 10-15 minutes pass and Cherrie never shows up. It's a relatively, you can see the house from the driveway. It's not a particularly long drive, it's not a short drive. This was the first time that Cherrie's mother didn't go meet Cherrie at the end of the drive from the bus stop. She says it is something that she will never forgive herself for. I know, and she points out that, parents make mistakes. And unfortunately, this one-time first mistake cost her a whole lot. It's very understandable. I know many mothers are always questioning if they're doing the right thing, and sometimes you just have to give room to the child, and that's a very scary situation for parents. So when she didn't arrive, the 10 minutes that they were waiting for her to arrive at the house, her stepfather goes out looking for her. No sign of Cherrie, so they call the police. An investigation was immediately launched. They had scent dogs, helicopters, house inquiries, about 250 volunteers on foot searching and canvassing the area. Nothing was found. The van became a very important piece in the investigation. They have been searching for this van. It's never been located or identified. And it also hasn't been fully determined if this van was, in fact, involved in the disappearance of Cherrie. But they haven't been able to contact anyone to completely rule the van out. It was also claimed in at least one article that there was a small blue car that was following behind the van that also has not been identified. Now, I don't know what type of vehicle that Debbie Burke and her children were in. Maybe it was there because she did say that she was following behind the bus as well, so maybe that was it. But you think that that would have been ruled out since she was there and giving her eyewitness account. And I just want to speak briefly on this. This was just one little snippet in an article, like one line, but I want to put it out there just in case. But there was a claim in 2020 that I guess someone came forward and said that the van was painted black about 2 weeks after the disappearance of Cherrie. But again, that was just one little blurb in one little article. When the stepfather, the volunteers, and the police were all looking, they found no footprints. They found no tracks in the snow because it was snowing that day, leading up to the house or leading anywhere near the drive. They did, however, find tire tracks in the soil at or about 50 yards from the home. So I don't know if it was 50 yards from the house or 50 yards from the drive. And now, like I said at the beginning, I chose this story because I felt that maybe the mother did make a mistake, but me personally do not feel they are involved. And also the investigators stated that it has been determined that Cherrie's abduction was not committed by any family member. Let's rewind back a little bit, well, quite a bit, because Cherrie was 8 years old. Janice gave birth to her when she was just 16 years old. Now, there was no father mentioned, but there's a reason. She gave birth to Cherrie when she was 16, and it was due to when she was 15 years old. The most recent development in the case, it was either 2019 or 2020, that Janice seems to believe that maybe the rape, the birth of Cherrie, and Cherrie's disappearance have something involved. It may not be directly the father of Cherrie, the biological father of Cherrie, but it could potentially be someone involved with him. His information wasn't released. He was never charged for the rape back in the late 1970s due to the statute of limitations, I would assume, passing. He was never ID'd, he was never arrested, and the investigators have reached out to him, and he maintains his innocence in this disappearance. So when she did come out about her years ago, she actually wasn't believed, and it wasn't until recent that people started believing her that she was. It has since been 3 decades since Cherrie's disappearance. Numerous hundreds of thousands of tips have came through on this case, but nothing's panning out. The investigators are actually amazed by the amount of tips that come into this day. They still check the vans in the area at the, I guess, junkyards and the ones that are being scrapped for metal or something like that, for the vans that are in this date range, to see if they could possibly find something to allege involvement. Cherrie was the first child to be featured on the Have You Seen Me little circulars, the ones that are at the bottom of the papers that get handed out in the junk mail and some coupons. Some of these I've actually found my story. There have been several claims of women being Cherrie and being raised by someone else or adopted, things of that nature. But obviously with the DNA testing, it's turned out not to be her. They've had several, certain types of people that just are evil and sent her, the mother, Janice, letters basically detailing what had happened, where her body would be found and all this stuff, and it was very gruesome. But the investigators followed up on those leads, and nothing came of that. At this point, they haven't had any tips to come through to shed any light on the whereabouts of Cherrie. But they have not discounted the possibility that she could potentially still be alive. They follow up on every tip that they get to this date, and they have a huge room with all the evidence that they have gathered on Cherrie's case. Janice has made several media appearances just wanting answers to what happened to her daughter, no matter the outcome of the answers. Obviously, as a mother, I'm sure she wants the best outcome possible, but I do believe after 3 decades, you just want closure of some form so that your heart may be put at rest. I could understand that. She does still, of course, have the hope that she is also still alive. Now, this is information from when she disappeared in 1985. Maybe it would help. Maybe there are still some, however, deteriorated clothing, but I'll go over that now. Cherrie was last seen in a white leotard, maybe something along the lines of a bodysuit type thing, gray coat, blue denim skirt, white stockings, blue leg warmers, and beige soft ankle boots, and a brown Cabbage Patch earmuffs. She was carrying a blue backpack with cream-colored top and decorated with blue and red hearts. She is a Caucasian female, brown hair, hazel eyes. She has a dog bite scar on her left arm, and she also has previously had her arm broken below the elbow. It had healed prior to her abduction. She goes into a doctor's physician's office and they do an x-ray, and she doesn't have anything maybe in her medical file that shows that she broke her left arm and she has a broken arm. Maybe put 2 and 2 together. I think at this point she would be approximately 45 years old. So if you do, of course, have any information, I'll put the investigative department number down below. Get in contact with them if you have information. At this point, so many decades passed, I think it's going to be more of the people that have direct knowledge, more of people that are obviously involved in it, that would be the people that have more information. Just give this mother closure so that her heart could be whole again. If you have the information, please come forward. So that's the information that I have on Cherrie Mahan, and I do hope something comes of this, a positive outcome, and I hope that she's still out there. Maybe she just doesn't quite know who she is, and she can be reunited with her mother and her stepfather. But until next time, guys, I will see you. Have a great day, and I love you guys.